YouTube, what is up? So it's been a little while, finally got a break in the weather. It's been raining for like 2 weeks straight. It's gonna rain more. We've got a small break today, and I'm gonna try to get out and ride this bad boy, but John from Rokblokz was kind enough to let me use his Honda Talon and do some reviews and some rides for you, and kind of give you my opinion on it. He's already done a couple things to this machine, and we'll go over those in a second, but I thought we'd do a quick walk around, kind of like pros and cons video, and just give you my opinion on the Talon. I've got the Turbo S here for a little bit of comparison. But yeah, so let's kind of go over this bad boy and see what we do and don't like about it, or what I do and don't like about it. So first thing I'll say is I'm really stoked that Honda gave us a new side-by-side. So, you know, bottom line, it's awesome to have another company on the market producing cool machines, and I'm super glad that they finally got a machine out. Okay, it's cool looking. I think that's the next thing I'll say. I think they really did a cool job on the design of the machine. It's a bad A looking machine. So really, really good looking rig. And I really do like it a lot. I think they made it a really good, aggressive, like cool looking machine. I like it a lot. So high build quality. Everybody says this. I mean, it is true. It has a very good build quality. They're able to steal a lot of parts from their automotive part of their company. And so they have a bit of an advantage there. So it definitely has a really good build quality on the machine. So pretty stoked. We'll go over some more of the quality here in a bit, but definitely high build quality. It's got a 12-month warranty. So along with the build quality, you know, most of these other machines are 6-month warranty. So Honda's actually standing behind their product really well. And I think it will be reliable. I haven't heard any complaints so far from John. Who knows, they might have a few little things. I mean, building these machines is not easy. Building a $20,000 side-by-side and making sure that's reliable, no recalls, is not an easy thing to do. But it should be reliable. Let's go over the motor. So this is their V-twin, or sorry, their inline twin. They call it, it came out of an African twin is what they call it. Their kind of GS, their kind of grand touring adventure bike. Really proven, good drivetrain. Again, I think you're gonna get Honda quality with this bad boy. So this isn't like a new motor for them. It should be really, really well built and good. It's already had years and years of testing and R&D, so pretty sweet. It's gonna be a great engine for everybody. So DCT. I thought we'd talk a little bit about a DCT. I don't know if everybody knows what a DCT means, but I thought I'd just go over it really quick. So basically, you have a manual transmission, you have your gears and your clutch. You put it into first gear with the clutch in, you let the clutch out, and it goes. Then they went to an SMG, so it's called a semi-manual gearbox. And what that did is it had a servo motor that basically pushed the clutch in for you when you hit the paddle, and then let it back out, and was kind of, it was a semi-manual. So kind of you didn't have to really operate the clutch. It did it with the paddle and the servo motor. Then you have a DCT, which is a dual clutch transmission. And real quick, I'll just tell you how it works. It's basically, you have two clutches. One clutch is for first, third, and fifth, and the other clutch is for second, fourth, and sixth. So if you have it in first gear and the clutch is released, it has, the second clutch has second gear ready with the clutch engaged. So when you hit that paddle, it instantly pulls one clutch in, lets the other clutch out, and then sets up on the next gear. So it's lightning quick. You should not ever have a clutch go out, because basically clutches go out from slip, and the computer can control it so good and do it so fast, there's really no slip in the clutch. So I just want to give you a quick rundown on how a DCT works, and that's basically it. You have two clutches, and each clutch is in charge of 3 gears. And it's always setting up and trying to predict what you're gonna do. So if it thinks you're gonna shift down, it's getting ready on the lower gear. If it thinks you're gonna shift up, it's getting ready on the taller gear. So it's a really cool setup. They've had them in automobiles for a while, and they're very good performance transmission. You still have that, you know, that gear feel unlike a CVT. So really, really cool transmission in this, and I think it's cool that Honda was kind of like the first to bring that to market, and that definitely sets the Talon apart. Really high quality chassis. So some of these parts on the suspension, they look a little bit thin, but it's really the thickness, it's actually the wall of the metal, and I think it's pretty good. And if you look at like, yeah, like their whole cage, I think they definitely, it is still thinner wall, but it's not as bad as like the Can-Am. I thought at first the Can-Am had like this really robust cage. It was actually really thin wall. But if you look down here, is a kind of a better angle. But all the tubing is really nicely done, and it's all braced, and I think it's a pretty good chassis. So when people start messing with these, I think they're gonna hold up really well. So I like the chassis, really good job on it. The suspension geometry. So it's interesting, you have this 4+ or this 5-link rear suspension. I actually haven't really got any time to ride this thing, so I've only just kind of drove it around the block. Like I said, it's been raining for 2 weeks, but it seems like a pretty cool design. You know, a lot of people have mentioned it's not double shear on the way they mount to the knuckle there, but I think it's pretty trick. You've got no front sway bar, so even just taking it to the gas station, I did kind of feel the front end moving more than the back. I don't know if I like the no front sway bar or not, I'm not sure. But anyways, really, really trick suspension. I'm excited to see how it works. Really high quality parts. Like I like this joint here where it connects to the frame. Pretty sick. And again, I think Honda engineered it really well. Even how the motor is mounted is pretty trick. If you look at those motor mounts. But yeah, so pretty trick suspension. All in all, pretty awesome. The seats. So I'll say 2 things here. I like how wide the door opens. So like it literally completely opens and you can get into the machine. I wish the cabin was a little bit, just a teeny bit longer. I'm a big dude and I wish I had just a little more room in it, but I love the stock seats. Really, really cool looking, comfortable, good seats. Sounds good. So this thing sounds awesome. Again, we'll go do some riding reviews, but I like the way it sounds and it's not obnoxious. I remember when I first drove the Yamaha, and I like that machine too, it was really loud. You had to rev the crap out of it, and it was like annoyingly loud, especially on a trail. So like in the dunes is one thing, but if you were up in the hills, like I felt like it was really obnoxious. So sounds good, but it's not like annoyingly loud. So I like that about that inline twin. Fuel efficient. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty fuel efficient. Reason why I brought it up is because it only has like a 7.5 gallon tank, which is really small. But I think the way that they've got away with that size because the motor probably gets such good gas mileage. So it should do 100 miles, maybe 110 if it wants to compete with other rigs. And I'll test that, but I bet you this motor is super efficient. And again, that's another advantage Honda had just from having all their technology from their car and UTV motorcycle company. Let's see. Oh, so I like all the adjusters. You know, from the steering wheel adjuster to the seat adjuster to your grab handle, they're all really smooth and well engineered, and I really like them. So again, it comes to another quality thing with the Honda. They did it right. All right, so let's go over some of the cons. I don't have a lot. Maybe these are, let's not call them necessarily cons, let's call them suggestions or things that I think would have been cool if they improved. The horsepower. So while I said it's a really quality engine, it definitely needed a little more. I wish it had a little more power. I know it competes with all your other NA stuff, and it does compete actually, but it would have been cool if they came to market with something that didn't just compete, that actually like kicked the other guy's butt. So I wish it had a little more power. These dyno about 70 wheel horse, where, you know, a Turbo S is dyno at 140. So literally double the power. So yeah, I just wish it had a teeny bit more power. Like I said, I know it's not supposed to compete with a turbo, but I would have liked to see it have more power, especially because on this next point I'm going to talk about, I feel like it should have came with bigger wheels and tires. So it came with a 28-inch rim, a 15-inch rim with a 28-inch tire, which doesn't give you a lot of sidewall, and it's just kind of low. This thing should have came with 32s. In 2019, it should have came with a 32-inch tire setup, which is actually what this is. So I'll go over that real quick. It looks so much better with these Method wheels and Tenzer tires. And John did a good job of picking these. This is their 409 wheel, and it has a bead grip technology that it kind of acts like a semi-bead lock. You can run really low pressure, and it's light without being a full bead lock. It's a light wheel. That's probably the lightest 32-inch tire on the market right now. It's 34 pounds. So he was able to get a 32-inch look on this bad boy without adding a whole bunch of rotating weight, which is important, especially when you have a lower horsepower machine. So really love what he did there with those wheels and tires. Freaking awesome. Although the shocks are decent, I wish they would have gone like, I guess if they do like a harder core model than this, then I hope they go with a little bit more beefy shock setup. I think it's a good shock setup. It's just definitely kind of middle of the row. But with that being said, I think it's comparable to other rigs in its class. So the display. These are just little nags. Really, it's so cool that they have the paddles and everything here right in front of you, but they should have gave you a display here with a tack. It's pretty cheesy how it's over here. It's just kind of cheap. I think they missed the boat on that, on the display. Let's see. The steering wheel. So John's already fixed that. This is an NRG steering wheel, and the stock steering wheel was just like totally crappy, and it definitely feels a lot better in your hand. Had to do some custom stuff to make this thing fit, but it looks awesome. So again, another thing that John from Rokblokz and just did a really good job of just kind of fixing some of the little naggy things with the Talon. That's pretty much it. So all in all, I think this is a great machine. I lean to the little bit more hardcore, but we need to go out and ride it. And I think it's definitely, I mean, for your NA 1000, you know, Polaris 1000 and your Honda and your your Yamaha YXZ and your Arctic XX, I mean, dude, this has got to be, you know, right up there, or probably the best one on the market, I would say, in that realm. And I think people are going to have really fun tuning this thing. Another thing I'll just say, just kind of in closing, is they made the 64-inch trail machine, and then they make this Talon, the sport machine, the 68-inch, and I'm pretty sure that Honda, this is just my prediction, is just going to add another R right there, and there's going to be a 1000 RR, and it will have a turbo. It literally looks like they designed the rear of this machine for a turbo kit. It'll come in at 72 inches wide. It'll have that 180 horsepower or whatever it's going to be, and it'll probably have those better shocks, maybe some more technology. So I feel like Honda is working on a 1000 RR. I could be wrong, but I think they are. So yeah, let's go over the few things that John did on it real quick. So we got the Method Tenzer wheels. We got his badass Mudflap system to kind of keep all that mud out of the door. They should have gave it full doors. That's another thing I'll say. Full doors, come on. I gave Polaris crap for that. Like, Honda, come on, give us full doors. Don't tell me it's going to keep the cab cooler or whatever. That's bull crap. You can make a vent or something. But yeah, should have, even though it's a quality door, give us a full door. If somebody wants a metal door, they'll still buy it. But I wish they would add a full door on this rig. Okay, yeah, so again, his Mudflap system is dope. He's got that all designed. I think it looks awesome. And it's definitely going to help keep the mud out of this useless pocket right here. So Really cool. What else do you do? So yeah, the tires. Oh, one thing cool about these Method wheels and tires is it widen the stance. You got about a 69.5-inch stance in the rear, and you've got about a 71-inch stance in the front. So kind of interesting. They're a little off. The rear is in just a titch over the front with the Method wheels. What else? Oh, he has his light bar and light bar. He made a light bar bracket to fit this bar, and you can do a couple different sizes of bars. It's really cool. And then that energy wheel, which I think is just dope. What a cool thing he figured out there. That really changes the look and feel. I think it looks awesome. So yeah, John did a good job with Rokblokz with this thing. So I'll put a link to the Rokblokz. If anybody's interested in them, they're awesome. I'm excited. It's going to be muddy today, and I'm glad that I have the Mudflaps on this rig. So yeah, what else? That's just kind of my quick pros and cons. Overall, I think it's a really good side-by-side from Honda, and I'm pretty stoked to go out and rip in it. Yeah, tell me what you think. What do you guys think about the Honda? Yeah, what do you guys think about the video? Anyways, love you guys. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll get out and do some good rides on this thing and get some good tests for you. Okay guys, see you on the next one.